Welcome to the Crafty Mini and another episode in our Wizard's Box crafting tutorial slash design. So today it's going to all be about the wand holder on the inside of the lid and the lining of the box itself. So starting with the wand holder, I've got this, it's like a strap that goes on top of the main strap of my satchel, and I never use this thing because it always makes it the bag actually slide down my shoulder. So I cut it off because it's got leather on it and it looks quite nice, it's a nice colour. And I'm just going to start trimming it down now to size. I don't mind doing things like this, hacking up other things that I may or may not need. If it serves a purpose for a build, brilliant. So just going up neatening everything, all the loose strands with a lighter first of all. If you're doing this, obviously be very careful because it's fire and fire burns. Right, so you'll see I keep fitting and going back and just making sure I'm happy, and it looks like the wand will fit in nicely there, and this is going to get stuck on the inside of the lid. So the first thing I need to do is thin this down a little bit. So I take this wadding foam type stuff out the middle, and then with the two flaps of fabric I get rid of the inside one, get that cut there, and then so this is how it's going to fit together. I'm quite happy with the shape and the size of it. Always dry fit everything on the lid, things like that. So now it's a case of, well, how do we get it onto the lid? So glue gun, one of my favourite tools. So a little bit at the top and tail of the other side just to get that stuck to the foam. And I'm pretty quick with this one because hot glue sets quickly and I always end up burning myself. So you'll see here there's at one point where I just forget what I'm going to do. So yeah, glue this down. This is all nice and done, pretty simple. And then we're going to have it so the thinner layers on the inside so it won't interfere with the wand when it's actually attached to the lid itself. So get this glued on now, right the way through. And this is where, when I put the glue gun down, I sort of panic for a second. It's like, oh, I've got to get this set quick. And then I'm sort of figuring, oh, how do I do this without burning my fingers? I didn't. I did burn my fingers like I always do when I use a glue gun. Now, I couldn't show the footage because I had to move quickly and get it on the lid, inside the lid, but it's hot glue gunned on. And you can see here the wand fits perfectly. I did a little slit on the leather, just so when you're pulling the wand out it doesn't pull on the actual holder itself and rip it from the lid. But it's spot on, it's exactly what I wanted. It looks really nice as well, and when the lining's all done and all the bits, they all go together. I might weather the leather slightly, but really happy with that. So lining, I need something cheap and cheerful, like I've done with most projects on this channel. I want to do something for as cheap as I can. Tissue paper, brilliant stuff. Remember using this as a kid. I used it in textiles, loads of it for my A-level art projects back at school. So I'm just grabbing a chunk of it now and just seeing roughly how much will I need to get this all to fit around. And I'm sort of having a look, and I mean I've got plenty of sheets of it because a lot of this tissue paper is going to be used for a Halloween project, which you'll see in the future. That's not too far away. And I'm just sort of dry fitting now, figuring out what I want. Sort of shape wise, do I want it to come up to the sides of the boxes or just on that partition and the bottom, things like that. And you'll see in the end what I end up settling with. But yeah, once I'm happy with that, so the nice thing with tissue paper is you scrunch it up as tight as you can and you get a really nice texture on it. Sort of like a cheap poor man's velvet, I suppose, but it comes out really nice. So I'll take these pieces out now. I'm happy with how they fit. Just double checking everything because you don't want things sort of bulking up around the tops and edges because I don't want it interfering with the lid. But once I'm happy, just scrunch it up and you get all this nice texture. And there we go. So all you'll need is PVA glue and a ton of water, and water it really, really far down. And then you can start slapping it on and sticking the paper on in chunks first of all, and then pieces to cover up any detail, because obviously it is paper. It's very, very thin, and the black and the base of the actual box will start showing. So just slapping it on, watered down PVA. It's about 3 parts water to 1 part PVA. Put a piece of tissue paper in, roughly shape it with my hands, as you can see there, and then I'll take more of the actual watered down PVA and use the brush just to get it into all the edges so it all fits in. If a gap appears, like you can see there, just sort of left of centre, just put another piece in. It's really easy, but I'm just getting this wet so it all fits in, and just keep adding pieces into the actual thing. So you can see here, so these are just more layers for more texture and just covering up any accidents that might happen. This stuff, I mean, I suppose it's traditionally used for like kids and things. It's a cracking bit of kit to use for crafting, and if you want to make things. And again, you'll see on the Halloween project that's coming up later this month, I've got some ideas and what we can use this for to make it look quite gruesome. But yeah, so wet PVA, water it down, slap it on, put a sheet in, and if you need to add a few more layers, do so, like I do here, before moving on to the next part. Now throughout this I'm actually trying to be as neat as I can, because initially I was like, right, I just want it on the bottom of the box, the divider, and the bottom of the other side, and I'm going through and I'm just adding the glue and the paper in pieces. I then decided, no, I think the lining should be all over the box, and I might give it, looking at it now as it's drying, I might just give it a slight touch up and a few more layers just to get the opacity. But you can see now I'm actually doing the inside walls, and it's exactly the same process. Wet PVA, pop it on, and then put some tissue paper on, and you can see the black shows through quite a bit there on the inside walls of the box. So I've just added some more paint, added some more paper, just to try and get the opacity up. The edges themselves as straight as you can, because if the idea is it's supposed to be some form of fabric or lining, plus when all the items are actually inside the box, it's going to break up the silhouette of it anyway. So I'm not too fussed about being, you know, exactly straight all the way around on the inside of the box. The main piece is the divider, and that the red actually shows through itself, the main colour. And again, when everything's in there, it will look nice when it's all done. But that's the finished product, dead easy to do. So as I say, water, PVA glue, tissue paper, and that's the effect you get on the inside of the box. So that's the lining and the wand holder completed. On the next video, I'm going to be working on some of the extra components that are going to go inside, and then finally the lid design itself, which you've seen a little bit there in the video, but we'll be working on that a bit more and getting it all painted up, and then the final reveal. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Cheers.